everyone, I'm Karen and today I'm talking wellness with Carmelita Morgan. She is a registered yoga teacher who has completed her professional level certification. Yoga is a very hot topic these days, so there are people watching right now who probably have never tried it and have no idea how easy and therapeutic this practice can be. Hi Carmelita, thanks for coming in. It's great to see you again.
Thanks, Karen. I'm so happy to be here.
Great. So how long have you been teaching yoga?
Well, I've been practicing for probably close to 30 years and teaching for 9 this year.
Awesome. That's some great experience behind you.
Yeah.
So what can we tell our folks today? Because there's a lot of people who have preconceived notions what yoga is all about. People probably think they got to be all real flexible and be able to turn upside down. And I've been guilty of thinking that, and I know better now. But so what can we tell our audience today about what it takes to actually practice yoga?
That's a great question. And I'll probably go over just a few of the myths. There are several myths out there about yoga.
Perfect.
And they just are so far from the truth. And one of the big ones is people say, I can't go to yoga because I'm not flexible. And that is so funny because that's why you do come to yoga. That's just one of the things. And also people think that you have to be young, you have to be in perfect shape, you can't have any physical disabilities or ailments to do yoga. None of that is true. And what I like to get across to people is yoga is for everyone. It's for everybody, and it's for everybody, no matter what shape your body is in.
That's good to know.
Because there are so many ways that you can adjust your practice. And from a younger person, when you get up to elderly, you can still be doing your practice. I plan to be doing my yoga and hopefully teaching it for another couple of decades for sure. So you just adjust your practice as you go.
So do you have a little story for me that you could sort of pull on? Someone who's come in with a preconceived notion and said to you 6 months later, oh my goodness, I wish I had known, or do you have sort of a little...
Well, I was going to mention this to you today because I thought it was so sweet and so true. I had a lady in Pasadena in my seniors class. I teach the seniors there in Pasadena, and I absolutely love teaching seniors. And I was just talking to them one day about self-care, about taking care of yourself. And seniors grew up with this idea that, I have to be looking after everyone else. I put myself last. It's an antiquated notion, but one they grew up with. And I say, it's something that you owe yourself. You're worthy of it. And once you take care of yourself, you're better able to take care of others as well. And she came up to me after class and she said, it's such a relief to know that I can care for myself and not feel guilty about it. So that's true. It's really true that we do need to spend that time on ourselves. And so that's what I do when I start class. Every class I start, I get everyone into whatever position they'd like to start in, and I start them with a breathing practice to let go of their day, everything they did actually before they walked in and sat down on their mat. Good or bad, stressful or happy, just let go of it. And take this next 60 or 75 minutes to focus just on you, on yourself, on your self-care. Because you're worthy of it and you can offer more when you're full. So that's one thing I tell people, and that's one little story I could come up with because she comes to mind quite often. And they are so sweet. They think, they're amazed to say, I'm doing yoga. And I said, no, you're not doing yoga. You have a yoga practice. You have your own yoga practice. And I have people there who've had hip replacements and, have all kinds of ailments and never dreamed that they could do yoga. And they're doing it and they're loving it. They're getting the benefits of it. They're getting to slow down, and just put everyone else aside for a little while.
So it's pretty multifaceted because, first of all, you are actually improving your physicality. I mean, you're becoming more flexible.
That's wonderful.
And the fact that you're not flexible is even more reason to go.
Right.
So that's a great myth to dispel.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that you said you've really given them permission, or they're giving themselves permission to start.
Yes.
Because sometimes we don't do that.
No,
we deny ourselves.
Yes.
So that's a wonderful way to open up your class.
Yeah.
So the other side of all of this is relaxation.
Oh yeah, big
And
thing.
we don't get enough of that.
No,
so
we
like meditation. And I guess sometimes they cross over. I've seen yoga meditation online. I've seen meditation yoga, and I know that they both involve breathing and feeling better. So that's a major deal these days. Like as I'd said last week, we're all stressed out. We're all rushing around, and if we can't find an environment to share that relaxation, because some of us probably can't bring it on ourselves. We kind of need to be immersed in an enjoyable environment where we can start to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, another one of the myths is people say, well, I can't go to yoga. That's too slow. I can't settle myself down for an hour. I can't let go of my thoughts. And that is another reason that you do come. And you can do that. And a powerful tool, the most powerful tool in yoga is the breath. And I tell people who come to my classes that yoga is 90% breathing, 90%. Because if you can't focus on mindfully watching the breath moving in and out of the body as you're moving, you're not getting the benefit.
But it's not real technical. Like there's not a big skill set, like I have to be able to breathe a certain way.
No. Well, there are certain breath or pranayama practices you can do for certain parts of yoga. But you know what? I go into the schools sometimes with the kids, and particularly the junior high kids. They are so stressed out. They are so anxious. And, so I tell them, the next time you go in for your exam, before you even open up your exam page, just close your eyes if you can. If not, just take 3 long, slow, deep breaths in and out. And I'm telling you, you take 3 long, slow, deep breaths in and out, and that exhale each time just brings you down a little more and calms you automatically. That third breath, that third exhale, you are feeling differently.
That is awesome. And
awesome and
so
amazing.
Glad you're doing it in the schools.
Yes.
Because a lot of these kids aren't even aware that they're like, we go around stressed out all the time, and our brain doesn't even recognize it. It doesn't even tell us anymore. So like a kid in school is probably doing this and doesn't even realize it. So that's really great that
and they're more stressed. They're more stressed out than ever now in schools, and they need it so much. They need the meditation too, that technique, those techniques that help you just slow down and focus on what's happening right now instead of looking back or ahead.
We didn't have those resources back when I was in school. It was...
No, I don't think we had the stresses back then. We had our own stresses, the normal stresses, but I think they have so much more that these practices, yoga and meditation, are really going to help them. And, we share it as much as we can. I have a friend who teaches meditation. I know she's putting it out there to the schools and that too. It is needed. It's needed.
It is.
And our seniors need it. And, people just need to know it's open to everyone. Some people say, I can't go to yoga, that's too hard, because they see all these pictures in magazines and online of all these perfectly shaped people who are doing these crazy yoga practices and asanas. But that's not what yoga is really all about. It's not. It's you coming into a class or even doing it at home on your mat. You're on this 6-foot long piece of foam, and you're there just for you.
So it's your world, and you have to feel comfortable
Right.
getting what you can out of
Yeah,
it.
and you do what feels good for you. And if you can go to a class and you can try all these fancy poses and things like that, and your ego is going to catch you pretty quick because either you're going to injure yourself, which can happen, or you're going to fall over and say, oh, well, that wasn't such a great idea. Do what's good for you, for your body, for your healing, for your practice. I can't even begin to tell you how yoga has affected me in my life. And, I wasn't always the type who would try out something and stick to it, and particularly exercise. And I went into yoga as a means for another exercise potion. And what I found was from the very first class, I've continued on. I don't know what it was. I guess it spoke to me. I guess I really felt it inside. I felt the
It was
difference.
working for you.
It was working for me. And it doesn't take that long to work for you. 3 or 4 classes, you're going to find a difference in your range of motion, in your flexibility, your balance, which is another great benefit. And particularly as we get older, we need that balance. Also, your posture. I tell people in my classes, when you go to yoga after a while, you can't slouch. You cannot, because you just don't feel comfortable. You automatically fix yourself up, roll your shoulders down, and lengthen.
That's big. That's
It's so
huge.
big. And the benefits are never ending. And we're talking physical, but again, the emotional, being able to get rid of stress and anxiety, being able to breathe yourself into the present moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's such a buzz now with all the new health practices, and people are starting to realize. I mean, just in the last few years, like the gut microbiome and how like our brains, our brain health, our heart health, all of these things are tied together. But if you follow any of those paths, they will clearly say, if you don't find a way to relax and deal with your stress, you can eat what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say that because, eating well
It
is
is
very,
important.
very important.
It is.
But that's a very large element. And because this is going to enhance your ability to sleep, it's going to enhance your ability to heal
Yeah.
and overcome anxiety and stress. So,
Absolutely.
and people are more aware of it, but they're just afraid to take that step.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to make one comment just because I too have been teaching fitness for 40 years, and there's always been a stretching component. I've been told by dance teachers over the years that I'm just not flexible. And the point I want to make here is that whether you can put your face on the floor or whether you can just lean forward this much, you're literally stretching the same muscles, and you, the person who can only get this far, is probably getting a better stretch than the one with the face on the floor.
Absolutely.
So people need to realize that there's a different range of motion in all of our joints, and there are things that apply differently to everyone. And I think that might be a nice way to say to people, don't think you're not flexible. Come and try it.
Yes. And you know what? You will see a difference.
Yeah.
And, I always tell people, don't overstretch. You don't need to go so deeply into the stretch that you're feeling pain. You don't want to feel any pain. Just feel the stretch. And then with the breath, you'll probably go a little further and a little further. I couldn't touch my toes. I could probably touch my mid-shin when I started yoga. I wasn't flexible at all. But I'm telling you, over time, and not too long, I could see that I could get further and further and further with a straight back, not rounding. And everything improves over time.
Yeah.
My balance improves, everything. It's a very healing practice. I mean, I don't try and sell yoga. I really don't. And I don't need to, because it works for me. And I know that I've been teaching 9 years now, and at least 80% of the people who come to my classes are the same people. So they're getting the same message too. They're getting that it's working for them. And it's not only physical, it's really a way of life, yoga is. And what we do is we learn self-compassion, compassion for others' differences, and then we take our yoga off of our mats and out into the world. We really
Awesome.
do.
That sounds wonderful. See, that's the I love how you're committed to it in that way. And people aren't. It's no good for people to be saying to themselves, "Well, I got to go to yoga."
Yeah.
What you've just described to me is you create an environment that they love to go to.
Yes.
And they never stop going.
Yeah.
And it becomes a lifestyle. And that's the key to anything.
It is.
Isn't it?
You've got to want to come. You've got to make the commitment. You really do. But you'll find the benefit. You really will. And like I say, I hope to be doing it and teaching it for years and years and years to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I got a lot out of that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I want to go right now.
Come on.
That's how these things should work. You know,
Yes.
like when people feel how approachable and how doable it is.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing what you do too to get the message out there about yoga and all the other health benefits and practices out there as well. Thanks so much.
Perfect. All right. So do we say namaste in yoga too?
We sure do.
Okay. Well, then we won't say bye. We're going to say
Namaste.